Hello, I'm BMillzebub and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about 5 things the Catholic Church practices or preaches that isn't in line with the Bible. This list isn't in any particular order, and considering how self-contradicting the Bible is, if you can think of a verse that supports something the Catholic Church does, that's not the verse I'm talking about. I'm taking this one verse at a time. Call me contrarian if you want, just bear in mind the Bible is much worse. Number 5. Confessing sins to a priest. The Catholic Church teaches that Catholics should regularly confess their sins to a priest for reconciliation. This is contradicted by 1 Timothy 2:5, which says, "For there is one God and one mediator between God and mankind, the man Christ Jesus." So unless the priest in the confessional magically becomes Jesus, the Catholic Church blew it on this one. Number 4. Praying to Mary and the saints for intercession. Catholics are often taught to pray to the Virgin Mary or the saints on their behalf. I'm not even going to dig up another verse for this one because, once again, 1 Timothy 2:5 covers this pretty well. If Jesus is the only mediator between God and man, then praying for the intercession of Mary and the saints is useless. Number 3. Praying the Rosary. Another common practice with Catholics is to pray the Rosary. For those not in the know, a rosary is like a necklace, even though it's not meant to be worn as one, with 5 sets of prayers. You start by doing the sign of the cross. You know, this thing, where you touch your head, your chest, your left shoulder, and then your right shoulder. And then you say the Apostles' Creed. Then an Our Father, also known as the Lord's Prayer, followed by 3 Hail Marys. Now we get to the mysteries, of which there are 5 each time you pray the rosary once around. Each is prayed the same way. 1 Our Father, followed by 10 Hail Marys. By the way, one mystery is also called a decade, just so you're not confused if a Catholic tells you they just prayed a decade of the rosary for some reason. But how does this contradict the Bible? I somehow hear you asking through the computer. Well, take a look at Matthew 6:7, and when you pray, do not keep on babbling like pagans, for they think they will be heard because of their many words. As you learned in the description of how one prays a rosary, it's quite repetitive. Babbling, even. Number 2. The Church's wealth. The Catholic Church is one of the wealthiest institutions in the world, and I personally would actually consider the wealth of the Church to be quite obscene. And the Church seems to have no issue whatsoever with having this incredible wealth. Despite Matthew 10, where Jesus is speaking to a wealthy young man who wants to be good, asks what he lacks to be a good man after Jesus tells him to keep the commandments. Jesus responds in verse 21, "If you want to be perfect, go, sell your possessions and give to the poor, and you will have treasure in heaven. Then, come follow me." Instead of following the words of Jesus, the guy they worship as God, the Catholic Church continues to hoard wealth. Number 1. The death penalty. A recent change in Catholic doctrine says that the Catholic Church seeks global abolition of the death penalty. A good thing for progressives like me, who give the death penalty no support whatsoever. But this is a video about how the Catholic Church conflicts with the Bible. So, let's take a look at Exodus 21:15 through 17. Anyone who attacks their father or mother is to be put to death. Anyone who kidnaps someone is to be put to death, whether the victim has been sold or is still in the kidnapper's possession. Anyone who curses their father or mother is to be put to death. How about Leviticus 20:9 through 16? Anyone who curses their father or mother is to be put to death, because they have cursed their father or mother, their blood will be on their own head. If a man commits adultery with another man's wife, with the wife of his neighbor, both the adulterer and adulteress are to be put to death. If a man has sexual relations with his father's wife, he has dishonored his father. Both the man and the woman are to be put to death. Their blood will be on their own heads. If a man has sexual relations with his daughter-in-law, both of them are to be put to death. What they have done is a perversion. Their blood will be on their own heads. If a man has sexual relations with a man as one does with a woman, both of them has done what is detestable. They are to be put to death. Their blood will be on their own heads. If a man marries both a woman and her mother, it is wicked. Both he and they must be burned in the fire, so that no wickedness will be among you. If a man has sexual relations with an animal, he is to be put to death, and you must kill the animal. If a woman approaches an animal to have sexual relations with it, kill both the woman and the animal. They are to be put to death. Their blood will be on their own heads. Or Leviticus 24:17, anyone who takes the life of a human being is to be put to death. I think I've more than made my point here. My point being that the Catholic Church isn't as biblical as it would claim to be. But tell me in the comments section below what Catholic teachings and practices are contrary to the Bible that I missed. I know I missed a lot, but for the sake of brevity, I didn't want to keep everyone here until we were all old and gray. That'll do it for this one though. If you enjoyed the video, please leave it a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and click the notification bell to get notified whenever I upload a new video. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, linked below, to keep up with all my comings and goings, and join my Discord for a chance to talk to yours truly. I also recently made a Facebook page for my channel here, so if you wouldn't mind going to the link also down below and clicking on that and joining me on Facebook. Take it easy, everyone, and I will see you all in the next one.